Hi there. In this video, I'm going to go through 7 systematic literature review papers. And what I want to show you is how these papers have written their how they have summarized existing literature review papers before starting their own paper. So this is very important because it will help you to formulate the research questions properly for your systematic review. And also you can get an idea of how to write this particular section for your paper. So all the papers that I'm showing you in this video are all open access papers, which is why I can show you, which is why I have selected them and I can show you. So this is the first paper. This paper is published in a very top journal called Decision Support Systems. It's published this year. And I would like to show you where they have written the summary or summary of existing reviews. So if you see this highlighted yellow part, it says there have been several comprehensive survey studies on anomaly detection using graph-based methods, and anomaly detection for fraud detection. However, our investigation suggests that no study has conducted review studies of GBAD techniques that consider the interdependencies between different data objects. So this is what they have mentioned here for their kind of a summary to show what has been done and what is not, where is the gap. Later they go on to say, in this study, we aim to consolidate existing research know-how in the context of analyzing interdependent data objects and so on. So basically they explain what they are going to do. And then a few other things which I do not want to cover in this video. But basically I wanted to show you how to summarize existing systematic literature review papers when you are writing your own systematic literature review. Let's move on to the next paper. This paper is also published in 2020 in Information and Software Technology. And let's see this section, how they cover their existing or prior research. This has been done in one paragraph here. I have highlighted that in yellow. Which says, there are many studies that focus on the T and V of NNs in the past decade. Several review articles, 15 to 18, on this topic have been published. Studies 15 and 19 have reviewed methods focusing on verification and validation of NNs for aerospace systems. Studies 17 and 18 are limited in automotive applications. None of these review articles have applied the systematic literature review approach. So here what they have done is they have taken few research papers or existing literature review articles, that is shown here from 15 to 18 and also 19, and they briefly mention what they have done and how there is a lack of systematic literature reviews done in this area. So that is a small sentence in this introduction paragraph that summarizes existing systematic review articles and thereby creating the justification for the new paper or the paper that they have written. Let's move to the next paper. In this paper, there is a complete section on prior research. There are 4 paragraphs within this paper that talk about the existing or prior research. So they start with, specifically in relation to the application of blockchain to the problem of cybersecurity, to the best of our knowledge, there appears to be very limited systematic literature reviews. So they start off by this statement that there is limited SLRs published on this topic. One of the most recent survey papers in the realm of blockchain and cybersecurity was performed by Salman et al. So that is the most recent one. Then the next few lines kind of summarize what this paper has done. Then the author gives their opinion. In our view, this study gives a valuable start to fellow researchers who might be interested in blockchain-based network and security systems. Apart from it, a small number of studies in relation to blockchain and its broader impact have also been published. So they are saying this paper is published, but other than that, there are a few other papers that are also published. So what are these papers? So if we scroll down, we find this paper, which was the SLR published in 2016. And their objective was to determine what research results have been published in relation to general concept of blockchain technology. It further goes and states what is excluded. So they have excluded legal, economic, and regulatory research from their review. What are their findings? So they found that 80% of research papers focus on Bitcoin projects. Then further, they look at towards the end of 2016, Conoscenti et al. Conducted a SLR concerning the use and adaptability of blockchain, specifically to IoT and other peer-to-peer devices. So there is a difference here now. So this paper is looking at Internet of Things and peer-to-peer devices and how blockchain can be used in that context. If we look further down, we have another paper, C. Baker et al. proposed an SLR in 2017 that highlighted the increasing impact of blockchain on service systems. So another different area. They further go on to say that they recommended future work to include a review of real-world applications, which is the basis of our research. So what has happened here is the authors of this SLR have looked at the future work recommended by these people and proposed a SLR. So this is also a very good idea to decide when you are going to write an SLR, is look at some of the existing SLR papers, what they mention as future work. And if you find something interesting and that is not addressed, you can take that up as a topic for your SLR paper. Further, they go on to say that it is necessary to provide a fresh summary of the most recent research work, in particular in the realm of blockchain and cybersecurity, so as to guide new research activities. So this is the justification for conducting this systematic literature review. So that was the paper 3. Let's move on to paper 4. And this paper is published in Security and Communication Networks. A systematic literature review. You can see in the title itself, there is mention of a systematic review. A systematic literature review on using machine learning for software requirement identification. So by reading the title, it is very clear what I will be expecting when I read this paper. So within this paper, let's see where they have got their existing or related work. As per our knowledge, there is no single SLR study performed on utilizing machine learning algorithms or techniques for identifying software requirements on the SO online Q&A website. SO is Stack Overflow. There are some surveys available on SO, but as of now, none of them are related in any way to ML algorithms or methods for detecting or identifying software requirements. Then they go and explain a few of these studies. In 2018, Ahmed et al. Performed ad hoc literature review by selecting 166 papers that were mainly classified about software development lifecycle from the start of the website till the year 2016. Similarly, the work by this group thoroughly reviewed and analyzed various questions, quality posted on diverse community question answering websites like SO. Besides, they pointed out the different metrics through which the quality of the posted questions can be identified. So this is a very good contribution. There are various other surveys available that are performed for identifying machine learning algorithms used for recognizing, collecting, categorizing, classifying non-functional requirements in software documents. And then there are some examples of these papers. Further coming down, we see this group conducted an SLR on ML algorithms for identifying and classifying NFRs, non-functional requirements. They selected 24 studies. The key findings of the work revealed that machine learning approaches could identify and classify non-functional requirements, but they still have many challenges that need more attention. So that is their finding. And similarly, so on. So this paper, you can see they have written fair bit, like one full half a page or one column is written on related work. Normally in most such sections, the last paragraph or the last few sentences would provide a justification of why this SLR is required. Unlike the different related work cited above, our study is focused on identifying ML algorithms or techniques used for identifying diverse software requirements on the SO only. We have selected 12 primary studies. So now this section is giving information about how they have conducted their systematic review briefly, but the detail will be given in this section here. So I will not discuss that. Okay, so that was fourth paper. Let's go on to the fifth paper now. And this paper is interesting. In this paper, the related work is written at the end of the paper. So it's a last section. But the write-up is more or less similar. For example, Marsan and Pare used a conceptual framework based on the information system literature on the topic of organizational adoption of software. This work has a specific focus on the healthcare domain, while our review is more general. They identify 8 factors. So this sentence here tells the difference between what these people have done versus what is reported in this article. Similarly, another paper, it talks about software component decision making, in-house, flaws, commercial off the shelf, or outsourcing. So the purpose of this SLR done by these people is to identify factors that influence the adoption decision of select between different software components and solutions. So there is a reasoning that is given here. Similarly, a few more research papers, and what is their contribution, what is the aim. Finally, in our systematic study, we identified primary sources in the literature that describe factors that influence the decision-making process to adopt flaws in organizations. So they also kind of conclude with a sentence giving the justification. So what you can see is almost all papers will firstly summarize what other researchers have done, and then they will provide a justification of why their study needs to be done. In this paper, they say, although many efforts have been made to investigate the application of mobile phone data in EM, the knowledge and understanding in this field are still fragmented. Therefore, a systematic framework that synthesizes the fragmented knowledge and provides insights into the state of art of using mobile phone data for EM is needed. This study aims to propose such a framework and provide guidance for further research in this field. So in this paper, this was a small write-up. Finally, the last paper that I have today is a systematic review of intelligent tutoring systems with dialogue in natural language. So they have provided some information here of some of the different studies that have been undertaken. And then they conclude, however, to the best of our knowledge, to date, no systematic literature reviews of ITS with dialogue in natural language has been presented. Hence, the main contribution of this paper is to provide an overview of this kind of system that covers for each system, and they then mention the different types of systems. To identify evidence that pertains to the ITS with dialogue in natural language, we have carried out a systematic literature review based on Kitchenham and Charter's guidelines. So this is also a very popular reference on conducting systematic literature reviews. Okay, so that is all what I wanted to share today. These few papers will give you an idea of the importance of having a prior research section in your systematic literature review paper. Because firstly, it tells what other researchers have done in this area from a systematic review perspective, or what other systematic literature review papers are out there. So that is one. Second is, it helps you to identify what they have done, and sometimes within their paper, they will also mention what needs to be done. And that could be a topic that you can choose for your systematic review paper, especially if that paper is recently published. So if it's published this year and they mention this as a future work, then you could take that up as your research question. Okay, so on that note, I will like to say thank you very much for listening to this talk, and I'll see you again in a different video. Thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.